Have you noticed changes in your elderly loved one lately? Maybe they've become quieter, started eating less, or lost interest in things that once brought them joy. Many people think death in old age comes suddenly, but the truth is, the body often gives us signs. We just don't always recognize them in time. Most of us chalk these changes up to normal aging, but looking back, we often realize the signs had been there all along. In this video, we're going to share 5 important signs that commonly appear in the final year of life for older adults. Some of them may seem small or insignificant, but they're often the body's quiet way of signaling that life is winding down. Recognizing these signs early can make all the difference. It gives you the chance to offer better care, to treasure meaningful moments, and most importantly, to help ensure your loved one's final chapter is filled with comfort and peace. Stick with us until the end, because these 5 signs can prepare you both emotionally and practically for what lies ahead. When you understand what's happening, you won't be caught off guard. You'll be able to make the most of the time you still have together. Let's get started. Sign number 1, sudden and significant weight loss. One of the earliest and clearest signs that someone may be entering their final year of life is unexpected weight loss. It might start subtly. A pair of pants suddenly feels loose, a belt needs to be tightened, or their appetite just isn't what it used to be. Families often dismiss this as a normal part of aging. But the truth is, unintentional weight loss is rarely a good sign. It usually means the body is no longer processing nutrients effectively. Muscles begin to waste away, and vital organs start slowing down. Yes, aging naturally brings some decline, but when changes happen quickly, it can be the body's way of preparing for an inevitable transition. When digestion slows and protein isn't absorbed well, muscle mass decreases. This doesn't just make someone weaker, it makes walking harder, increases the risk of falling, weakens the immune system, and makes the body more vulnerable to infections. Another key factor, a loss of appetite. Food starts to lose its flavor. Meals they once loved now taste bland. Skipping meals or eating less isn't about being picky. It's because the body stops sending the hunger signals it used to. As a result, the body grows weaker by the day. And sometimes that weight loss may point to deeper, hidden issues. Cancer, heart failure, kidney disease, or even depression or early dementia. These conditions can quietly progress long before any obvious symptoms appear. Families often respond by cooking favorite dishes, buying high-calorie supplements, and encouraging more eating. But if the weight keeps dropping despite all efforts, it's time to face a deeper reality. This isn't just about food anymore. It's a sign the body is entering a new stage. At this point, forcing food isn't helpful. What matters most is comfort, soft foods, easy to swallow meals, staying hydrated, and above all, gentle care. If your loved one is noticeably losing weight, eating less, growing weaker, or struggling with daily tasks, pay attention. This isn't about appearance, it's the body speaking. And if you can hear what it's saying now, you'll have the chance to prepare with understanding, with love, and with the most meaningful time you can still share together. Sign number 2, extreme fatigue and weakness. One of the most noticeable changes in the final year of life is a deep, persistent fatigue, the kind that doesn't go away with rest. We're not talking about feeling a little tired after a long day. This is a profound exhaustion that makes even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. And it's not just aging. It's a sign that the body is conserving its remaining energy. As vital organs begin to slow down, the body shifts focus to only what's absolutely essential. The heart doesn't pump blood as efficiently, circulation weakens, and muscles stop getting the oxygen they need. That's why many older adults, especially in the final months, begin to feel weaker, less steady, and unable to maintain their usual level of activity. A big part of this is the slowing of the metabolism. The body is no longer geared toward producing and using energy the way it once did. Instead, it shifts into preservation mode. That's why someone in decline might start sleeping more, needing long naps during the day, and struggling to stay awake for extended periods. In some cases, energy levels can drop. Suddenly someone might seem fine one moment and be completely drained the next. For many seniors who once prided themselves on independence, this can be frustrating or even embarrassing. They may withdraw from conversations, avoid social situations, or stop engaging in hobbies not because they don't care, but because they simply don't have the energy. And this often creates a cycle of isolation, where they stop trying altogether, which only accelerates decline. For families, watching a loved one go from active and engaged to tired and withdrawn can be heartbreaking. It's easy to think they're being lazy or that they just need to push through. But the truth is, forcing activity won't help. What matters most is understanding their limits, allowing them to rest when needed, and making their remaining days as comfortable as possible. If you notice your loved one is experiencing deep, ongoing fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, take it seriously. It's likely a sign their body is undergoing a major transition. This is the time to cherish conversations, create peaceful moments, and support them without expectations. Because in the end, it's not about how much they can still do, it's about how loved, understood, and comfortable they feel. If you're still watching and found this insight helpful, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful, meaningful content to inform and inspire you. Sign number 3, increased confusion or cognitive withdrawal. As someone enters the final months of life, the most noticeable changes don't always come from the body. Sometimes, you'll see it in their eyes, a distant stare, a change in the way they think or speak, or a quiet retreat from the world around them. A person who was once sharp and lively may begin to forget things more often. They may pause mid-sentence, forget the names of loved ones, or become disoriented even in their own home. Sometimes they repeat themselves. Other times, they might sit silently for hours, not saying a word. This isn't just typical age-related forgetfulness. It's a sign that the brain, like the heart and lungs, is no longer getting the oxygen and nutrients it needs. As brain function declines, thoughts become fuzzy, memories blur, and the world starts to feel less clear. They might be alert and engaged in the morning, but by afternoon seem confused or distant. At times, they may appear fully themselves. At other times, like someone you don't quite recognize. Along with this mental fog, many people begin to pull back. They lose interest in talking, socializing, or doing things they once enjoyed, not because they don't care, but because it's simply too overwhelming. Communication becomes exhausting, so they choose silence. Some may become more irritable or anxious. Others may seem oddly calm or detached from things they once felt deeply about. It's not a shift in personality, it's the brain adjusting to the body's gradual decline. Thoughts slow down, and emotions become harder to express. At times, they may not react at all. For loved ones, this can be the hardest stage to witness. It can feel like you're losing them piece by piece, even though they're still physically present. But please remember, they're not doing this on purpose. They're not choosing to drift away. Instead of trying to pull them back, meet them where they are. Sit beside them, hold their hand, speak softly. Even if they don't respond with words, your presence still reaches them. If you notice your loved one becoming more forgetful, distant, or withdrawn, don't ignore it. It may be one of the earliest signs that their mind is beginning the final journey. This is a time for patience, for quiet moments, for creating a space that feels familiar, safe, and full of love. Because even when the words are gone, love, a gentle touch, and the feeling of being cared for never leave. Sign number 4, frequent infections and slow recovery. As the body weakens, one of the most visible physical signs is a declining immune system. You might notice that someone who rarely got sick before now seems to catch every cold, every flu, and every little infection that comes around. Minor illnesses that used to pass quickly now take much longer to recover from. Even small cuts or bruises heal noticeably slower. These changes aren't random. They're signs that the body is no longer able to defend or repair itself the way it once did. One of the biggest concerns is recurring infections. Pneumonia, urinary tract infections, skin infections, even oral infections, they all become more common as the immune system loses strength. Families often treat these as isolated incidents, but when they begin happening regularly or take longer to heal, it's often a sign that the body is losing its ability to fight back. Even antibiotics, which used to work quickly, can seem less effective. The person may need stronger medications, longer recovery times, or multiple treatments for infections that used to be minor. This happens because as blood flow slows and organ function declines, the body just can't respond to treatment the way it used to. Another overlooked issue: chronic wounds. If you notice scrapes, sores, or bruises that aren't healing properly or keep coming back, poor circulation may be to blame. When blood flow is weak, oxygen and nutrients don't reach the skin and tissues as efficiently, making healing much slower than normal. Bed sores, especially in those who are less mobile, become a serious risk and can even lead to dangerous infections if not carefully managed. What's more concerning is that infections in the final year of life often don't look like we expect. Instead of spiking a fever, older adults may just seem more tired than usual, more confused, or less interested in eating. In fact, in seniors, a sudden change in alertness is often the first red flag of an infection even before any other symptoms show up. That's why catching these changes early can make a big difference in how much comfort and support they receive in their final days. For families, watching a loved one go through multiple infections can be frustrating and heartbreaking. It's tempting to push for aggressive treatments, hoping that one more round of antibiotics or another hospital stay will fix everything. But eventually, the focus often shifts from curing to comforting. Making sure they stay hydrated, keeping their skin clean and moisturized, and minimizing physical stress can do more for their well-being than another treatment that only prolongs suffering. If you're still watching and found this information helpful, comment number 4 below to let me know you're with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to hit that button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future videos. Your support helps us keep creating meaningful content to inform and inspire you. Sign number 5. Major changes in breathing or circulation. One of the clearest signs that the body is entering its final phase is a noticeable change in breathing and circulation. And if you pay close attention, you'll see the body is quietly trying to say something. You might notice your loved one begins to breathe more slowly, more lightly. Their breaths can become irregular, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, with moments of silence in between. Some may show a distinct breathing pattern called Cheyne-Stokes respiration, where breaths become deep and rapid, followed by pauses of several seconds. First, it's subtle and easy to miss, but over time, this rhythm becomes familiar, a quiet signal that the body is winding down. At the same time, blood circulation begins to slow. Hands, feet, ears, and the tip of the nose may start to feel cold. The skin may look pale, bluish, or mottled, especially around the fingers and toes. That's the body conserving blood flow for its most vital organs, cutting back circulation to the limbs. And it tells us something important. The heart is no longer pumping with the strength it once had. Even simple activities, sitting up, speaking, or shifting positions can leave them breathless. You may notice they breathe through their mouth more often, or pause mid-sentence just to catch their breath. Walking across a room might now feel like a marathon. In some cases, fluid builds up in the lungs, making it harder to breathe. This can lead to a persistent cough, wheezing, or chest tightness. Many people mistake this for a simple cold. But in someone nearing the end of life, it's the lungs quietly letting go of their role. That's why they often prefer not to lie flat. Instead, they might ask for extra pillows, choose to rest in a recliner, or sit upright, anything that makes breathing a little easier. For families, these changes can be terrifying. We want to help them breathe, we want to call the doctor, fix the problem. But sometimes, there is nothing to fix. This may not be something that medicine can reverse. What we can do is help them feel more at ease. Keep the room cool. Use a humidifier. Offer small sips of water. In some cases, medications or oxygen therapy might help. But more than anything, this is a time for comfort, not cures. If you see your loved one struggling to breathe, their hands and feet turning cold, or their skin growing pale or bluish, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Their body is carefully preserving every last drop of energy, every beat of the heart, every breath. And what they need most now isn't machines or prescriptions, it's the warmth of your presence. Just being there means more than you'll ever know. As this video comes to an end, I invite you to take a quiet moment to reflect. The 5 signs we just shared, from unexplained weight loss, persistent exhaustion, cognitive decline, to changes in breathing and circulation, aren't just medical symptoms. They are the body's final whispers, gently signaling a transition that can't be avoided. For many families, these changes are hard to accept. It's natural to want to fight them to encourage your loved one to eat more, move more, or push through the fatigue. But instead of focusing on reversing the inevitable, we can shift our energy toward making their remaining time as peaceful, comfortable, and meaningful as possible. When you recognize these changes early, you have the power to care more effectively, make informed decisions ahead of time, and fill your loved one's final months with love and dignity. Thank you for being here with us today. If this video gave you something to think about, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps us spread this message to more people who may need it. Your support is what keeps us going and allows us to continue creating heartfelt, meaningful content. We'll see you in the next video.